some of these are real Patreon requests. And again, I'm not even sure some of these are real movies. Oh, Nazis. Always get him when you're not supposed to be. Why would you kill Satan? He's a nice guy. 1313, the Haunted Frat. Well, this is just full of naked buff guys. We'll put that on the back burner as a maybe. Here we go. Casper Returns. Is it? Oh, it is the ghost. Ooh, this is perfect. This'll break her. Yeah. Ooh, wow, even being in the same room for just breaking me a little bit. Yeah, this will do.
Why yes, valued YouTube commenter, I am gorgeous.
Howdy doody, mistress!
Oh, fuck. How did you find me? This is an unlisted camera!
Well, you keep calling in to tell the minions to kill each other or themselves or do other derogatory acts. So I just dialed back. You know, that's how two-way communication works. Anyway, just because the rest of the world is suffering doesn't mean you don't get to.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, fuck indeed.
Casper meets Wendy. What, like Casper Hauser? Who the fuck is Wendy?
Oh, you're gonna find out.
Answer, she appears to be a kind of witch, but beyond that, I don't fucking care. For that outfit alone, she should be burned, hanged, or at the very least be crushed under a door, and a pile of unsold DVD copies of this film. And when she inevitably wheezes out, "Oh, wait!" then I have to bring in other Casper movies, because there's no fucking way they even made enough copies of this to crush someone. This stars Hilary Duff as Wendy. Now, to paraphrase Socrates, I know enough to know that she's famous, but I don't know enough to know why she's famous.
But I'm guessing it's not for this shit heap.
And more importantly, I know enough to know that I should be very glad for not knowing why she's famous. The real stars here should be Wendy's three aunts. I don't know what they're called, and I doubt I'm going to learn over the next 90 minutes. But they're played by Kathy Moriarty from Raging Bull, Shelley Duvall from The Shining, and Terry Garr from Mom and Dad Save the World. Now that is a killer drag threesome waiting to happen, and they badly deserve a substandard Hocus Pocus remake to aspire to be in. Rounding out the cast is arch-villain George Hamilton from Sextet, and his two slaves, Vincent Chevalier, aka Hey, it's that weird-looking guy that's not Michael Berryman, and Richard Mall, who's being looked down on for the first time in his career for choosing to be in this.
It's a joke, because he's tall.
Technically, mistress, he's 6 foot 8 inches tall.
Oh, fuck, not you too.
Or 1.097 Hagan's tall.
Are you taking into account my slouch?
Make that 1.09 Hagan's tall.
What else? Well, there's some ghosts or something. Hopefully at least one of them will be friendly. Go, go, Casper Rangers! We open up in a time tunnel and it looks like someone tried to turn the Piccolo Dick meme into a wormhole. Though in their defense, that's what he was doing to Vegeta's ass. The theme starts off sounding like a Christian pop track minus the vocals.
The lack of vocals are much appreciated. Thank you.
I can't help but take it personally when ghosts fly towards the camera, laughing at whoever's sad enough to watch this. Almost 2 minutes in, the theme finally starts rocking and or rolling. My guess is the head of the Christian label retired and his hit new replacement decided the guitars aren't sinful anymore. How better to celebrate this development than with a Catherine wheel of excitement?
Psst. The longer you keep it going, the more it looks like an interdimensional goat, see?
Say what you will about Haim Sabin, but before he was a TV mogul, he was in bands and wrote music, including some of the catchiest theme songs in TV history. Mask, The Mysterious Cities of Gold, Ulysses 31, Inspector Gadget, fucking He-Man. This song being anywhere near his name is his punishment for producing this shit. After another minute of swirly things, drive-by brooms, more sparkles than you can shake a ContraPoints video at, and 4 more ghosts laughing at the viewer...
Keep laughing, guys. Today I'm watching this, but tomorrow you'll still be in it.
Anyway, after all that, the film briefly tries to convince us that it's a shit kid's sports movie. It goes all out, using dramatic slow motion, sweeping camera moves, close-ups, and the lighting even gets a bit decent. The main problem with this approach is that since we've not seen the rest of the film yet, the effect is kinda lost. Anyway, the only notable person Alan thick enough to sign up for this part of the film is this guy.
Show me something to top that!
Well, that's simple. That ball lands in the audience and crushes a small kid called Casper's skull, revealing this as a secret origin. I can't pretend to know what's going on, it's all base bollocks to me, but I'm pretty sure UFO's not usually involved in this sport.
Boo! Not enough shitting at the UFO!
Oh, well done, movie. I'm sure your target audience, 6-year-olds with idiot parents, will be intimately familiar with Close Encounters of the Third Kind and Poltergeist. No, that's unfair. This whole section could just be the director trying to be an actual filmmaker. Fuck knows, he won't get the chance in the rest of it.
Greetings, Earthling. Can you direct me to the Roswell chili cook-off? 'Cause I'm a little low on gas.
That was a close encounter of the third kind.
You know, if ghosts can do this sort of crap, then why are you shocked that they exist? Surely they should already know. For fuck's sake, Fox News would be freaking out about them 24/7. Actually, no, they're white, probably very old and deeply unpleasant. Fox News would pivot to a ghost-only channel.
Run for your lives!
No, it's run for your career! Okay, ghosts raping fat Ric Flair is one thing and giving a bat erectile dysfunction, but somehow not melting the guy holding it is another. But menacing Lloyd Kaufman crossed with film brain is just mean. Stop it! America, I can accept many things like your fetish for firearms and dumb wall obsession, but do hot dog vendors really have dozens of hot dogs in buns along for their bot? What the fuck were USA thinking? Okay, this is quite a striking image if you view it, as I do, as a visualization of the USA's impact in Southeast Asia throughout the 20th century. American culture literally being bombed onto screaming people by a fat war machine made of death. It's all that, but also the film equivalent of being painted by a dog walking over a canvas.
Chill, folks. You don't have to be scared. See, I'm Casper, the friendly...
Might have run 2, he somehow looks even worse than the Nostalgia Critics version.
Casper's 3 uncles have decided that all these extras have suffered enough, and maybe noticed that we're approaching 10 minutes in, and have yet to meet our star, so they decide to move on to the next part of the film.
Ooh, a vacation?
Certainly. Show me 3 ghosts who deserve it more.
Ghosts of Christmas Past, Present, and Future. Not only are they in a fucking billion adaptations of A Christmas Carol, but the purview of Christmas Past is constantly increasing. What constitutes the present is constantly changing, so Christmas Present has to constantly retrain, and Christmas Future worked himself to death sometime before Dickens wrote the novel.
You mean 4, right?
Oh, right, of course, short sheet. Can't leave you out, otherwise he'll carry our luggage.
Movie, I know you were made over a decade before notorious evangelical homophobe George Reekers had his holiday scandal with the Rent Boy, but if you'd given that line to the stinky one, you would have set up a god-level joke.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in a house that looks like it was designed by Hank Reardon, though slightly less evil, we have our villain, George Hamilton. In this, he's going by Desmond Spellman, because I assume he's Sabrina's uncle. You can tell he's a great wizard because Cam Clark starts screaming before he's zapped.
Hi, I'm calling from the International Children's Fund, and we're asking generous people like you to donate any...
Hamilton takes a break from his busy schedule of regretting his career to get a message from his mirror, played by Chris Kattan for some reason. It's the usual fairy tale story. He's no longer the greatest and or most beautiful witch in the world, and it gets his tidy Snow Whiteys in a bunch.
Who could be greater than Desmond Spellman?
Tim Curry, he is the Grand High Wizard. And I'm reasonably sure it's only partially because of drugs.
Wendy, ooh, the good little witch.
You know, her name suggests that other little witches are bad, or that good witches are usually big.
Good witch?
But since when is good greater than great? Whoever decided this didn't understand the true magic of language. Movie, I was fine with the UF ghost, but actually I wasn't, but I feel like being dramatic. You're beginning to lose me.
Tell me how to get rid of this little mole rat.
Just magic up an infinite credit card for her, that should do the trick. No, the mirror suggests the next best thing, chucking her into a bilious pile of CGI. It's called the Mystic Abyss, and for some reason it's not the same wormhole from the start of the film. Imagine if they just reused that effect. The intro would have been marginally more impressive, and they could have spent the money they used on the intro in buying more than one pineapple, or in buying new pots, or in not using a thermos to call forth the power of Prince from the heavens. The sky's the limit, as long as the sky's $10 or about.
Wait, they could have spent that $10 on the sky and made it look at least 85% more impressive.
So, what's Hamilton done? The usual, summoned up the Lawnmower Man in its sequel to handle Wendy, because while he is the greatest, he's also the most expensive actor.
10,000 years will give you such a crick in the neck!
I think this is where boards of directors come from.
I want you to go to this address.
Sir, that's not an address. That's a little girl. Yeah, and she doesn't even look like she's wearing a dress.
She's living in the country with her aunts.
Must be an ant farm.
Maul, Chevalier, I am so sorry. You didn't deserve any of this. Although thinking about it, maybe you do because you agreed to be in it.
You think you can handle this?
In retrospect, the Men in Black franchise was always kinda disappointing. Hey, you didn't answer his question. He asked you if you could handle the mission, and then you pulled out weapons and blew up his door. I'm gonna assume he destroys them the second they're off screen and alchemies up exact replicas, so I can still pretend that he has a chance at defeating a fucking 10-year-old. He's lucky that city's so clearly fake, or I'd have to wonder aloud how no one noticed a bright pink lightning storm about 20 feet from their place of work. And I'd hate to just have to assume it's San Francisco again. Over at the Addams family's place, they've rented it out as an Airbnb, and Wendy's visiting with her aunts. 12 minutes in, and we've hit our star, Hilary Duff as Wendy, the good little witch. I assume it's a family name. She's already developed a crush on the local paperboy and made him a gift. At least she wasn't wasting all the time she was off screen.
Yikes, my pajamas!
Very good, they weren't quite silly enough.
Thanks.
Well, looks like he wants to take the relationship to the next level and ask her why the fuck she's wearing a romper suit. Alas, her aunts want to take it to a few more levels after that and try to murder him with flubber.
It's not even a good Robin Williams film. At least beat him to death with the Fisher King, you monsters!
Paperboy is even harder sequel, was only widely available in Japan. Anyway, Wendy decides that Turnabout is very fair play, and Turnabout, that only affects one of the three people who did the bad thing, is somehow the most fair of all. I'm not complaining though, Kathy Moriarty was in the original Casper, she deserves this.
Now that's hard copy, yeah!
This is unusually acceptable comedy considering the film. Long story short, he freaks out and drives off, never to be seen again, and Wendy's a tad miffed. Movie, being adjacent to Groucho Marx doesn't make it automatically clever or funny. No, Carl, on the other hand.
Not to worry, ladies. We're gonna take her off your hands.
Ugh, butt out, bozo.
And here I thought Desmond Spellman told me that you was gonna be so cooperative.
Oh.
Do I look like a speech therapist to you?
No, you look like a man in black. Played by a man in blackmail to appear.
So they pull their guns to try and kill Wendy, and somehow the bullets that tore through their boss's front door, like it was the cheap set that it is, don't even manage to make a dent in their living room. Admittedly, it'd be hard to tell if it did destroy anything, but still! The goon's secret weapon, the power of hugging, fails to capture Wendy, so she and her aunts make good their escape.
Well, nothing in this is really good.
So she and her aunts make bewildering their escape, ready to eventually meet up with Casper and his uncles to continue the plot. Such as it is. You know, that is an unusually shit effect for a film with more than 5 Wikipedia articles between its cast. Anyway, both the witches and the ghosts have got something in common. They're both really lucky that they somehow only flew past blind people. Having made it to the holiday camp, the ghosts immediately decide to use the powers of the supernatural to invade this daytime soap opera.
Oh,
honey cakes. This is gonna be just so fab.
Only the best for the Bratchins.
Aww.
Therefore, making this a better adaptation of Dark Shadows in the Tim Burton film.
I don't see anyone. Do you?
You know what? They're right. That CGI is horrifying.
Bye! Don't forget to not tell the receptionist that this place is haunted, or ask for a refund, or do anything that could disrupt the plot. Thanks!
Boy, I can't believe you guys!
Do you have something to share, young Casper?
Do you have the ability to emote, young Casper?
Drop dead!
Get her!
As in the Hellraiser sequel that's only marginally better than this. Because they can somehow detect the approach of the rest of the cast, the uncles suddenly bring up witches and how they're the only things that ghosts are terrified of.
Only good fleshy is a scared fleshy.
But why do you scare them?
Because they can't scare back.
Except for witches.
They don't explain why they find the witches so frightening beyond they have power!
Power!
And frankly, we were lucky the movie was sober enough to remember to set up that plot point, because the witches have just about arrived.
Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Talby. I'm the social director here at Sunny Bright. How you doing? Okay, great. Hey, did you hear the one about the roof? It's over your head.
Hello, I'll be your discount Aidan Gillen does a Jeff Goldblum impression for the film. Yes, must act faster. Must act faster. Ooh.
Are we followed? No, I think we're safe.
We're hiding! Watch as we blend in. This is going so well.
Oh, look at this bitch. I bet whatever she has to say is fucking amazing.
Aren't you ladies a little old to be trick-or-treating?
Why are you dressed like Raoul Duke's mother-in-law? Isn't it a bit too summer for trick-or-treating?
If it weren't for those hats, you'd be totally pointless.
I'm not sure they could actually turn that woman into something worse than Shorty is, but since she got the last room, is willing to mock them over it, and is actively trying to poison herself, they decide to give it a go and turn her into slightly less of an odious old goat. I'm guessing all the other guests overheard the conversation and probably figured it was just the act of a vengeful, but just God.
I've had a change of mind. Goodbye.
I love how the guy playing the receptionist was a good enough actor to get a role, but nowhere near good enough to cover the disdain he has for the whole project. Now, the witches are going to have to be careful, blend in, try not to arouse suspicion, and definitely no running a charity as a cover for the plans to turn children into mice. You know, I think I've worked out the trick for doing witches in film. The longer you could conceivably mistake them for a drag queen, the better they are.
I be witchin'.
You stick out like a sore thumb.
She also dresses like one.
Wait. Hi, I'm Josh. You've probably heard of me. I'm Wendy.
Hi, I'm Wendy. A third of the movie's named after me.
I'm gonna say something might controversial. Oh no, such a thing has never been known before. But Casper is a nice guy. He's passively trying to get affection and friendship without a thought for other people's agency, and you can tell the resentment's building up inside him. But this shithead's a friendship pickup artist. I think I'll call him Youth V because he probably runs Return of Princess.
When'd you get here?
About a week ago.
Do you like it?
Kinda boring. Until now.
Anyway, in the room, Kathy Moriarty, aka Natasha Lyonne's final form, is attempting to convince Hilary Duff Beer to keep a low profile.
But why are we running from this Desmond guy? Why don't we just all go confront him?
Better to confront a nuclear missile.
I said attempting because a nuclear missile is less of a horrifying dress sense than she does. Over at the George Hamilton place, he's giving technomancy a go by installing his magic mirror in a computer and building NASA into one of his walls. If Wendy or her aunts use any high-level magic, he'll be able to pinpoint the location.
If those witless witches use any high-level magic, this little gizmo will pinpoint their location.
Regardless of audio quality, it was better when I said it. But what constitutes high-level magic, though?
I don't know, and I'm glad they don't want to tell us, because it's probably really dumb.
Is this high level? It's more work than just unpacking your fucking bottles. Turning that miserable future Trump voter into a goat? Was that high level?
I know. You cast the spells, and I'll run it through my spell checker. Get it? Spell checker?
not thrashing her with her own fucking hat. That's gotta be high level.
For your information...
For your information, I'm acting and possibly on Ritalin.
I'm looking up Desmond Spellman on the internet.
Weirdly, I'm finding a lot of hits for that girl who starred in Clarissa Explains It All. Conversation over, they decide to stick to basic spells, stuff that'll comfortably go under the radar. Nothing that can be noticed or mess with the magical ether or whatever magical fabric binds the world together. So naturally, the first thing they do is redecorate their chalet.
Of course!
You were meant to be incognito, turning the chalet into your house. Might have been neato, but it's certainly not incog!
Pity the poor housekeeping staff, they're literally not paid enough to deal with this shit. Sure enough, the signal gets through to Team Hamilton, aka the Federalist Party.
What?
But before they can track down their exact location, Kathy Moriarty figures out what's going on and stops all the magicking. I'd say it's magic, but it probably is.
You mean Desmond could have found us?
Faster than a LoJack.
Why he wants to is the film's biggest mystery after its own existence. I'm very confused by how they seem to be the only witches doing magic at the moment, though. I'm also very confused by who Wendy's mother was. Right now, I'm thinking she's the result of a three-way magical lesbian incest thing.
Alright, I think we're safe.
Right, not if you're on the bottom.
The ads decide to go scouting around to make sure that none of Hamilton's people have tracked them down, mainly sticking to the pool like sensible people. While Wendy sneaks off to a local arcade where Josh, the little Jimmy Osmond of her dreams, is crushing it at generic arcade game sounds in a Mortal Kombat cabinet Turbo Alpha X.
Yeehaw, measure, you wimps!
Easily the second best in the series.
Josh, I really needed to talk to someone, and I thought maybe you could...
Katie, see him going for high scores? Yeah, take a hike.
Anyway, as he's clearly a dick, she fries the cabinet, his attempt at a high score, and the dreams of anyone else for playing that game. You might be wondering what's been going on with Casper, seeing as he is one of the title characters, regretfully. Well, he's mostly being abused by his uncles. Good, long may it continue.
Gee, I think we hurt his feelings.
And then he started hanging out down the road from the chalet, past the goat woman who's still not been removed from the premises, and started haunting the resort's official Christmas barn. A barn that Wendy is soon drawn to, because if she wasn't, they'd have to change a third of the film's title.
A ghost!
So it turns out that witches hate ghosts as much as ghosts hate witches. I think this means that any witches who die are automatically classed traitors who need to be killed again on sight.
Are you really a witch?
Yeah, what of it?
Nothing. I just didn't know witches were so cute.
Casper, you're like really old. I'd say red flag, but she's already wearing it.
Well, you're a ghost. I was always told ghosts were spooky and mean, you know?
But not me. In fact, I'm friendly.
It's literally in my trademark. The ice, truly broken, Casper and Wendy sit around like the odious piece of fiction they are, as Casper first blows himself off, and then Wendy creates the worst abomination in a film full of them.
It's like Krampus, but without the M.
So, Wendy, wanna do something?
Well, I'm sort of grounded, but... let's have some fun!
Clearly that's her official fun outfit. When I think of childhood fun, I can think of many things, such as irritating ghosts, ruining a pool party, probably drunk flying or almost getting people killed at archery, but few of them involve cheating at fucking croquet.
I know this is gonna sound really lame and all, but... whoa! This has been the best day of my life!
Well, that's sad, and it'll get sadder as she gets older. Anyway, 3-minute montage, and Casper the friendly incels managed to fall in love with her.
Wendy, friends doesn't come close to describing how I feel.
The ghost thing's the least creepy part of that. So there's one thing standing between them and true friendship. Their family's bigotry.
All we have to do is turn your aunts into ghosts or my uncles into humans. And I know just the way.
Hey, everybody, how's it going? Guess what time it is? It's limbo time.
You're gonna beat the ants to death with Sam Rockwell?
Now remember, only you can put the bride in Sunny Bright.
I just want to entertain!
All we have to do is turn your aunts into ghosts or my uncles into humans.
Now, I know what you're thinking. There's an easy way to do one of those things, and it's called poison. But this film likes a challenge. Instead, Casper's going to talk his uncles into possessing these three. Listen, Casper Van Dyne's staying at the resort. Beggars can't be choosers. But that's for later tonight. Right now, we have to watch the escapades of Kathy. Where the fuck is my sextet remake Moriarty?
Cabana Boy! Can we have 3 more big ones over here, please?
Sure, just a second.
Would you like anything, honey?
Yes, the Cabana Boy.
When I'm good, I'm very good. But when I'm bad, I'm better.
Madam!
Hey, what? Sugar Shorts. How about a date?
December 7th, 1941.
Next time, she shouldn't cast her Pearl Harbors before swine. And when I say Pearl Harbors, I mean sexual assault.
I just love when they play hard to get.
Wendy's managed to find the only outfit more conspicuous than her Snuggie, and talks all 3 of them into going to the dance tonight, through the cunning ruse of telling them that there's going to be a dance tonight.
There's a dance tonight.
Dance?
You magnificent bastard, she read your flyer! Then she bumps into this dickhead again.
Hey, watch it! Oh, hi, Dollface.
Well, he's still a cunt, and he's decided that Dick Tracy look or not, Wendy's going to the dance with him. These things might be related. But of course, she already has plans.
Better than me? Yeah, very pale, no hair, and hangs out in cemeteries.
Well, yeah, Max Schreck would be a step up from him, and not quite as much of an age difference as with Casper.
Look! You're going to the dance with me, and that's that! Josh, you are way behind on 90s dating rituals.
Not according to me. Dewey's not.
So, this kid's clearly a sexual predator in training, and since he's not played by Kathy Moriarty, it's apparently a lot less whimsical.
Josh, you are way behind on 90s dating rituals, and maybe you need to catch up. Whoa!
Oh, looks like he caught up. You know, I'm really not sure if this counts as a punishment for him. If anything, it could be the start of a very complicated fetish. Meanwhile, it looks like George Hamilton started the first Hilary Duff fan club, and he's desperately trying to book her to make an appearance.
Have you found her? Damn. Well, then keep looking.
Elsewhere in the scene, the fucking mirror started rapping, because how else can we be expected to remember what decade this was made in?
But if there is one fact that I can boast, Wendy has meant a boo-boo-boo-boo-boo, a friendly ghost.
Oh yeah, the rest of the film. It's so 90s, but the extras were paid in snap bracelets.
Casper's gone to his uncle's to convince him to come to the dance, so they can hopefully fall in something with Wendy's aunts. How's he doing this? By telling them that he wants lessons in how to be a proper ghost, and that'll include possession.
Actually, I was thinking... possession.
Then you've come to the right place, Ballbed, cause we're experts.
What?
Then you've come to the right place, Ballbed.
I know he didn't actually call Casper a ball bag, but I don't really give a fuck. This is canon now.
Then you've come to the right place, Ballbed, cause we're experts.
The possession goes as you'd expect. They find a secluded spot, right out by the main building, far from the prying eyes of all the people walking right past them to get to the party, and kinda leap inside Bulk, Skull, and the third guy. I'm gonna call him Matt Dillon. You can tell these guys are popular. Literally no one gives a fuck about the light show / epileptic fits that they're having.
Yeah! Hey, it's dark in here. No wonder I went in backwards.
I'm pretty sure this poor bastard gave up a job as a B-list David Schwimmer impersonator to play this part. There are a few fun things to notice about the dance.
Fun?
The entertainment's provided by Hell No Cool J. It's being filmed inside a location borrowed from someone's wedding reception. It's clearly taking part outside in a tent, even though everyone was walking into the resort's largest building, and the aunts appear to have skinned the cast of Hairspray to make their outfits. The uncles and aunts aren't the only celebrities attending, though. We've got Casper clearly Van dying to escape.
I gotta kill some bugs.
Some bugs? Wait a minute.
Well, that's the crossover event of the decade. Here's Johnny Rico! Come on, you apes! Do you want to be in a shit movie forever? And win Ben Stein's self-respect.
Hey, well, don't brush those off, because you never know when, we're gonna run out of food in this joint.
That would be terrible.
I think he's beginning to suspect that this film wasn't intelligently designed.
The budget for random cameos pretty much gone. Wendy does a spell on the band to set the mood, and all 6 are instantly smitten.
Maybe it's just this body, but those chicks look extra crispy.
Cool. I second that emotion.
Whitney, baby.
If that's your fetish, you're really fucking lucky you're fictional, or I'd have to invoice you for my sex work. Shelley Duvall ends up with a stinky one, Terry Garr with a fat one, and Kathy Moriarty with the one that doesn't have a gimmick beyond being a prick. Mission accomplished, Casper and Wendy escape outside for a celebratory dance in the gazebo. It sounds fine, but it's only 20 feet away and Wendy changes into pretty much the worst outfit for flying, and still Casper feels the need to wrench her arms out of her sockets to get her there. When if she needed to fly, she could do it herself. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. How silly of me. Did I say arms? In Wendy's close-ups, they forgot to tell her to raise her left one. She should be hanging at an angle.
The name's Boo. James Boo.
From Haganistan with love, I'm going to ask you never to do that again, you thunder bollocks. Or I'm going to use my license to kill to find out if spectres do only live twice.
I don't dance very good.
The poor guy has no left feet. I'm glad I'm giving fewer and fewer fucks. Back on the dance, the buffoonery has reached a critical mass, and all the antics are being dragged together in what will soon become a singularity of zaniness.
Hey, get a load of this one, huh? Drinks are on me!
But all good things,
and thankfully all bad things,
have to come to an end.
What?
I began to wonder why no one's calling an ambulance for whatever they assume is happening to these guys, but then I remembered that the staff here are paid to serve, be sexually assaulted by middle-aged women, and demean themselves. Not to give a fuck. The uncles have been possessing the trio for too long and soon find themselves ejected, just in time for those poor actors to realise what film they're in and react accordingly.
Oh no, Casper, our plan just went down in flames!
Like the Hindenburg.
And I should know. It landed on me. And what, pray tell, was your plan? Have them fall in love and hope the uncles were able to take over the lives of those three doofuses forever? And that the aunts suddenly gave up magic completely for no reason?
Not a great plan.
Hi, girls!
Ghosts! Witches!
Two households, both alike in fucking awfulness. In fair Poughkeepsie, or somewhere I hear it's obscene. From ancient grudge to the same grudge because they still hate each other. A sextet of star-crossed lovers hopefully take their lives. And that goes double for the ghosts because they're dead and you have to kill them twice. You know, Romeo and Juliet would be a much simpler story if ghosts were real.
One of the weirder bits of Casper Meets Wendy was Kathy Moriarty randomly stopping to impersonate a chainsaw. Nothing comes of all this. The witches can't do anything to harm them, but the ghosts don't know that. So when Kathy Moriarty, she of the angry Jennifer Tilly, starts bluffing up a spell, they scarp her. The aunts tell Wendy to keep away from Casper, but she and Casper aren't going to take that flying down.
Well, I thought that was a punny line.
Hey Casper, meet me back here in 5 minutes.
I'm over here! While they're closer to 5 seconds later, they meet up again. Wendy's brought her laptop, she got bored with the plot and all, and so skipped ahead by breaking reality, and visited Casper Meets Wendy fan site, thus proving that she is the most powerful witch of them all. Actually, no, that appears to be a special effects company's official website, circa 1998. Making this possibly the saddest Easter egg in film history. She wants Casper to talk to his uncles, ask them to keep away from her aunts, so neither group will have to leave, the aunts won't be forced to do any big spells and attract George Hamilton, and most importantly, I won't have to explain why Casper's disguised as a fucking Wookiee.
And remember, don't say anything about the magic.
I promise.
Why are you protecting them?
Because they can't use their powers!
Good work, Casper. Next time tell them that their only weaknesses are having houses dropped on them or being chucked into a yellow swirly thing. You know, for all I know, he might have actually done that. He has plenty of time to be dumb when he's off screen.
Get him, boys!
I have questions about how this ghost scaring thing works. The witches know that they can't be killed by ghosts. I wasn't kidding about these two weaknesses.
Destroy you? How?
This is the only sure way, besides dropping a house on us. It's called the Mystic Abyss.
Even if they did manage to kill them, they'd just be creating more ghosts, and suddenly it'd be a fairer fight. Do they have some kind of control over the fear centers of the human brain and all the theatrics are done just to amuse themselves? Actually, this would explain why Ray was terrified at the start of the original Casper.
Who are you gonna call? Someone else.
Anyway, Wendy soon has had enough of this crap and pulls out the big wand. Turning them to plaster, somehow this is a big enough spell to get Hamilton's attention. But more importantly than that, why the fuck didn't they use practical effects for the frozen ghosts? Would the possibility of effects not looking like shit ruin the vibe they were going for?
You get your phantom fannies out of here!
Okay, we're going!
I would love to know how the fuck they're still flying, but more importantly, I know what fanny means in American. Americans are often wrong about these things, but I choose to believe that the uncles were trans men, probably notable historical figures, cruelly misgendered in death, celebrated by idiots as notable women, who had to dress as men because of the sexism of their time, and this is why they're so pissed off.
And Hamilton? Here's an idea. Why didn't you think to find them using magic?
Me ruined by a little teen witch? I don't think so.
Yeah, but that's only because she won't be a teenager for a few more years. Anyway, as they celebrate Wendy's victory over the uncles, Josh, aka the Morphing Grid's worst disappointment, steals her wand, but more importantly, Wendy's aunts seem to think she can turn stuff to plaster without using magic.
Well, in order to save y'all, I had to use my wand. Huh?
Thanks a lot, loser. Start packing.
Did you just think that she got them plastered? Because I'm pretty sure she has to magic up the liquor.
The pile of inexplicable shit keeps getting higher because Hamilton, in his flying car, is taking much longer to arrive than Wendy and her aunt's dead. Yeah, they might have been coming from closer, but what's the fucking point in a flying car if it's outdone by a fucking broom? Anyway, where's Casper been? Hanging out in the sewer. I didn't bring it up because I generally approve. The drama keeps coming because Wendy's rightfully blaming him for his uncle's attack.
How could you? Thought you were my friend.
Aww. Miss Brandt!
Yes?
Get me a violin!
Two of the three idiots are going from chalet to chalet, knocking on doors and politely asking if the occupants are witches. They don't even disguise themselves because that wouldn't be sporting. This is also why they're not using their brains, such as they are.
Let's fly out the window.
No, we can't. They'll spot us.
They saw you last time. It was even daylight and you got away fine. No, it's time for an escape via the new magic of hijinks. And then to drop their disguises before they actually escape.
They went that way.
Thank you.
Well, I'm glad someone's having fun.
Leaving so soon?
Might be horrified too. Look at that framing. Poor Terry Garr's not getting any screen time. And she's easily one of the three best characters in the shot. So, they've been captured, it's time for the finale to get into the same low gear as the rest of the film.
I had a devil of a time finding you. How did you live without magic so long, eh?
It's been like a day! Your machinery is broken!
You'll soon be out of my hair. By the way, how does it look?
Exactly like Chris North's.
Nary a one out of place.
That's what I said. He's about to open the portal to the mystic abyss of Tir na Nog, so please allow me to ruin whatever build-up they're going for, and instead show you Youth V and his acolyte playing with the wand.
Let's see how snotty you are without your stick, miss. I'm too fit for you.
It's against my policy to scare people, but this is an emergency. My, that was cleansing.
Why the long faces? Are you feeling okay? You suddenly look a little hoarse. It'd probably do everyone a lot of good if they waited until Josh gets gelded before turning him back. Anyway, it's like George Hamilton had an extensive collection of restrained, but silly faces, and is trying to work them all into the film. And now, my young Wendy, you will die. I wondered what was holding the ants down, but then I realized it was the greatest magic of them all, plot. Casper returns with the wand. Wendy administers a beating to Hamilton's minions. I'm Pretty sure those two would pay for that. And Wendy's finally chucked into the abyss.
Well, she's dead. Happy ending. Waiting to be inevitably proved wrong. Hey, that's cheating!
Though in his defense, Casper wasn't in the room when this was said.
Once a victim enters, she never comes out.
Hey, why aren't you chucking the ants in too? If you don't kill them here, you're gonna have to buy a house to drop it on their heads. And while doubtless you can afford it, it is a needless expense. And a more pressing question, why don't you cut the line Casper dragged in? And what kind of a fucking portal is harder to close than open? Wendy's constantly moving, but never moving. The physics of the portal seem weird, and it gets worse when Casper runs out of line, and she somehow swims through nothing while she should be falling and reaches him. I try to work out what the fuck's going on, but I badly want this film to be over, and looking at this clip, I don't think I'm the only one. So the ants now have Hamilton to be crushed by, which results in the best joke of the film. I know that sounds weird, but technically there has to be one.
I'm a man! I'm repulsive!
Low bar, remember? And it's limboing in a very big hat.
So all is lost, well, except for Casper and Wendy breaking physics in the magical hole and the timely arrival of some blobs of After Effects. Bye-bye, George Hamilton. I have some pity for him. The last time he was sucked into a death vortex, that sparkly. He ended up starring in Zorro the Gay Blade. The film's talked a lot about magic, but let's remember the magic that's making all this noisy action possible. The magic of soundproofing. The aunts and uncles work together to get Casper and Wendy to safety, because without them, there'd be a scapegoat-shaped hole in all their hearts.
Wendy! Wendy, Little Red! Wendy! Little Red, are you okay?
Guys, you can't pull off the "oh no, are we too late? Are they dying?" thing for drama when one of them is already dead, the other is almost immortal when houses and swirly things aren't involved, and if they did die, it would just make the relationship marginally less controversial. Anyway, Wendy's Queen of the Witches, barriers have been knocked down, prejudice has been conquered, no one turns the animals back, and off-screen there's probably going to be a six-way sub-Rosa orgy with the aunts and uncles. All that good shit. Maul and Chevalier walk off into a future that includes much better films than this one. The direction was flat, the jokes were generally terrible, most of the characters were stupid, punchable, or both. I think most people will see this as harmless fluff, and it is, but it also wastes a really good cast, Hilary Duff notwithstanding, and features some of the worst special effects I've seen all day. I'm not even talking about the ghosts. I'm guessing they were much improved from the previous Casper film that I hope no one pays me to watch. No, I'm talking about the second last shot of the witches.
1, 2, 3, away!
They didn't even have a trampoline to make them jump out of frame. Hollywood figured that out 70 years ago.
Anyway, I'm the Amanda Hagan, and I have to live with that and the memory of this fucking film every day.